Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So I'm hoping that you guys have enjoyed the other three lists I've given you on this particular sale from Aliexpress on the 11th of 11. Now, so with this list, as I said, I've gone through my previous 11 months of watch reviews, and I've kind of chosen what I think probably are the best watches that you can probably go for in this particular sale, and they vary in prices and looks, of course. And this is what watches that I've actually tried and tested, I've had in hand, and I've kind of stood out to me from all the other stuff that we've reviewed over this past 11 months or so. So yeah, so let's go through the list. I won't take up too much of your time on this one. Again, just as I did with the other list, just tell you any need to know information on this. So the first one we are going to make a start with is this particular style of watch. You know exactly what it's about, what it's homaging. So St. Martin have had their fair share of models with this particular version. Now, the one I reviewed was the vintage version. And that was a grayed out dial, so they have come a long way for them to kind of fix up the dials. Now this particular version comes with an enamel dial, which means you get a very high gloss black dial, which is what we want to see. I really don't like those grayed out dials anymore. And with this particular version also, you do have a dateless date design, but they still use the NH35 and they refuse to use NH38, and they give you a ghost position, which is really annoying. But this case does have some differences. You can see these polished chamfers along the sides. It also comes with sword hands. It also has a on-the-fly adjustment. So with this particular version of watch, I think St. Martin do give you the better value for money one. In my previous list, I did mention the GR5 titanium, which is on the higher end. But with this particular one, why I chose this has probably got the best savings. Currently, it's available for £201, but in the sale, this will go down to £158 plus any other coupons or discounts you can get. So I think all that considered, for £160, this is probably the best value for money this particular style of watch you can get. Also note, they don't have anything in the rehaut area, which I prefer, because it doesn't really make sense unless it's on anything but the original. But yeah, for what they have here, I think they've done a really good job. Female end links as well. As I said, the polished chamfers, full specification, just minus the really annoying NH35 on a dateless dial, sorry. So this is what we're going to start it off with. Now next up is one from Seestern. So this is the S434. I mean, they came out incredibly competitively priced. I think it was around £150 when these were first released. The issue was the smaller crown. Now they have addressed that with this version 2 version, where you've got a much bigger crown, which I think will solve any of the problems. You can see it is a bit significant. This is the old crown, but I think some pictures of the new crown, you can see it does stand out quite a bit. So yes, definitely want to check out. It's a classical design again, and Seestern's execution is flawless, right? And this watch also has an on-the-fly adjustment. So you're looking at 162 before the sale, and after the sale for £129, just under 130, which is a really good price considering all the specifications you get. Now, in the previous video, I mentioned another version of this, which has got the domed sapphire crystal with a slightly different crown. So you can choose between this or the other, but I was particularly impressed with this one when it came out. So next on the list is one from SH Watch. I mean, these guys blew me away with the value for money on offer, but not only that, the finishing, the finishing matched to what I saw in hand. So a very nicely done case. It is 40mm. It's got some really nice polished bevels, highlights, etc. Great brushing on there, quick release bars on the bracelet. Everything was so well done on this. The handset and the dial, again, gorgeous. But what's incredible on this, and the reason I mentioned it, is the fact that you could get it with the SW200 for just £210, making this, again, incredible value for money with a very high quality finish as well. Now this one from £125, this is what it is, and it doesn't get any cheaper, which I think we shouldn't expect it to, because for £125 what you are getting is still incredible if you don't mind the 40mm size. I think this did fit even better than I think other styles of this watch that I've seen. So very impressive watch from SH Watch. Next up, probably my most recent significant watch. This is the Ixdao, the Engineer series, and the one I've chosen in particular has just the logo on there because the branding is a bit off-putting. So you've got, I think, grey, black, the turquoisey, teal, green that I had, and of course the white. Now these are renderings and they do not do the dial justice. For reference, go back to my review. This watch is so damn good. It fits amazingly well on wrist. The finishing is very, very high quality, extremely premium. So yeah, I totally love this watch, and on sale it's for £210, so you do get a slight saving, not massive amount, but still good enough in my opinion. But bear in mind, right, I have seen a couple of posts out there where not everybody had the best experience. I think there was one particular complaint about the crown being a bit too stiff. I think that's down to the movement of the PT5000, to be honest. They do vary in torque. If you get a good one, they are a bit lighter. I think what I found in my experience anyway, the ones with a much harder torque, they've got the oiling issue, so I would generally be careful from that anyway. But that is the issue with the actual movement in hand. But if you want to go for the SW200, you're looking at £325, but on sale £286. Now I think combined with this logo, which is inoffensive, the high quality dial, the high quality finishing and bracelet, 286 with the SW200 is still a bit of a bargain. It's a bit of a good price. So moving on from the Ixdao, let's bring up the Proxima. This is the 1697, and I reviewed newer versions of this. But going back to this, beautiful case, beautiful bracelet for this particular watch, and you know, 193 on sale, not that much of a saving, but I think this is the one to go for. I don't think those new styles matched, I think, that, you know, look of the watch, in all honesty. And then you've got this black dial version with a 14 lume, which looks great, and you've got the white dial with a different aesthetic, but you also have different versions to this. So let's see. Well, you've got all these versions here as well, which are again very interesting and very good. And then you've got some new colors, which is like a green fume dial, which, you know, you have to find the link, but if I find it, I'll put it in the video. Okay, moving on from the Proxima, we've got the Octopus Titanium. Now, the reason I put this in, this stood out in the comparison I did, the three-way comparison with the Seestern, the Octopus, and of course the Ixdao. And yeah, overall, I think I'd say this took it because, you know, it was a bit smaller on proportions. It had a really nice bezel. You know, even though it still did have a ghost date position, and overall it was okay, right? It's a good watch from Octopus. Obviously, if you mind the name that much, then your other options are either Seestern or Ixdao. No price change in the sale, which is unfortunate, but it's around £200, which it was, I think, previously. Next up, we've got Baltany. You have to include Baltany in these lists. They do such a good job. You know, they stand in their own league on Aliexpress. You do have this available with a mesh, which doesn't really look nice though, but I prefer it on this NATO anyway. So great chronograph, great build, great lume as well. So that's down to £123 for a good pick up and go, you know, military style field watch with the chronograph function. Of course, it uses the Seiko movement in there, and yeah, it's quite a good watch, to be honest. Moving up, Thorn. I mentioned this previously as well in the last sale for £97. Now notice how it goes up. So this is choice deals, which are cheaper than the sale deals, and choice is crazy, right? So this happens away from the sale times, and you can save a lot of money on choice actually, but I think there's some postage limitations, and I'm not too sure about that. But this particular version, 20 reviews from this store, 5-star, 192 sold. I was very impressed with this Thorn, and this listing in particular only has this version available now. The bezel rotation is good, the lume is good, the aesthetic is all good, the bracelet is good, although it's these 4 rivet links. Yeah, generally everything about this watch is good. The one I had, I modified it with a different dial, and of course I put the NS38 in there, as you should be doing. Yeah, so it's a really good all-round watch, and it's got really nice aesthetics and really good build quality for that £100 price. Next up is the Sugess. So I haven't done the full review for this just yet, but I've had the watch in hand. I've had a few good days with this watch, and I just love the dial aesthetic here. 184 on sale. It's got this blue goldstone dial, which to me and you means aventurine, but it's a bit deeper than aventurine. As you can see this picture here, there's just numerous amount of stars. It is, very similar to a starry sky. You've got a domed sapphire crystal, which definitely complements that dial. It runs a Seagull ST2130, which is a high beat movement, plain and simple. White Sugess text on the top. It's also got a rose gold case available. It just looks gorgeous. I mean, I had the croc strap, but I do prefer the straps that they're giving these in, which is a much finer grain on the leather. Contrast stitching, lovely crown, and overall lovely aesthetic. And this aventurine look, or this particular dial, watch out for, because there's a lot of other brands coming into it. In fact, Christopher Ward have just done one, and I should be receiving 2 of their models with this aventurine dial, which I'm excited to be getting. But yeah, for sale, I think £83 is decent enough. There is another version which is a bit cheaper from Sugess, so let's go off target a bit, off tangent, £113, but it does also have a moon phase complication and a calendar at the 12. Now it does have a little bit of a party trick here. You can just about see it in this picture. Is you can see, if it stays on there, the actual moon phase does glow, which looks good, and it has the same dial. So that's one for consideration as well, and a bit cheaper. Next up, another Baltany, and yeah, this is a retro chronograph, which again I really did like in hand. It's got, you know, your tachymeter and various complications, and it looks a bit vintage. It's fully polished as well, which does suit the aesthetic. Nice pushers, and overall a really good watch to wear. Down from 128 to 120 pounds. Now moving on to the last one, guys. This one, I mean, as I said, this was the year of the GMT. So many GMT models, but one in particular was the one from Sugess and Seestern. They really did stand out. They've got a micro adjustment on there. They're a bit better priced than the equivalent like San Martin as well. And this particular version, again, it looked great, right? Great brushing on there. I like the dial, and I think it was something about the handset which made it stand out from the rest. So stunning watch. You know, great bracelet, great finishing on the case. Seestern have really stepped the game up when they came out with these two. And this particular listing gives you the different colors available. So you've got this layout, and then you've got the Sugess white with the snowflakes, a black dial, and of course a dark blue. And I reviewed this dark blue, and of course this version. So yeah, both watches are really good, and 184 on sale. I believe the San Martin might beat them, or it's probably the same now due to the sale prices, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, incredible watches. So that's it for this list. Let me know in the comment section if you have bought anything on this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.